is where MAGA comes to talk. Well, it's happening. President Trump right now is in the Situation Room at the White House, and the decision's being made right now. They have the massive bombers that have nuclear capabilities on the ground, gassed up, ready to go, and President Trump put out on X, which he rarely posts to X, but he did today, put out a massive post on X, and it just said unconditional surrender. So this is it. And everything that President Trump has done and said and released in the last 24 or so hours, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less than 24 hours as of this moment, it's happening. And, I know a lot of people are saying, oh, America first, no new wars, and everything else. President Trump, okay, let me just, okay. President Trump, he's so smart. This war with Iran did not begin when Israel launched that strike the other day, okay? We have been in a state of war with Iran since 1979 when they took our embassy, all right? And I was watching Michael Knowles for a few minutes today. He did, I think it was a live stream Michael Knowles did. It popped up on my feed. I watched him for a few minutes. And he was taking this America, at least in the part that I heard. I didn't hear the whole stream that he did, but the American first, no new wars thing that we're hearing from a lot of people. This is not a new war, and a lot of people that are influencers. I'm not talking about Tucker because he's older, but a lot of people that are influencers that are younger don't have a lot of context. And I've referenced many times the American hostages, and I remember the American hostages being held by Iran like it was yesterday. And we had this, I was in third grade in Columbus, Ohio, and we had a day of the week where we brought in news articles and the kids in the class talked about them. And I remember a girl brought in the front page of the Columbus Dispatch newspaper, and it had the whole front page was the photograph of the American hostages blindfolded that were taken at our embassy. That was Jimmy Carter's fault. And since then, since the Islamic Revolution in Iran has been in a constant state of war with not just Israel, but the United States and the Western world. And the Iranians have been funding pretty much all of the Islamic terrorism in the world for years and years and years. So, that's it. They have multiple times tried to assassinate our president, Trump. They have hit squads that they've had after him for years. Now, this is a story that I told when this first happened, and I haven't talked about this in a while. The first New Year, does anybody remember what year it was that Trump took out the Iranian general? It was Soleimani, right? What does anybody remember what year President Trump took out Soleimani, the Iranian general that was the leader of the global terror? 22. Okay. Was it 22 or 28? Yeah, it had to be, could have been 22. 2018. Could have been 2022. 2018. Okay. So, I woke up early on New Year's Day, and on New Year's Day, that's one of the days I take off work. But I woke up on New Year's Day, and I did a live stream here on YouTube because President Trump had a massive New Year's Eve party. So I knew he was at Mar-a-Lago and everything else. And I did a live stream, and I got up early in the morning, like first light, and I drove up there on a live stream here on YouTube. And and the reason I did that is Air Force One was in town, and I did, and if you remember, in Trump's first term, those of you that were watching me then, I would regularly go up and live stream at Mar-a-Lago and at the airport where Air Force One was parked. I don't do that now because, well, of the Iranians, right? There's so much security up there. I could do it, but I don't want to live stream and show the security. It's really tight. I don't think the president would appreciate me doing that, so I don't do it anymore. But anyway, this was the first New Year's Day after Trump took out the Iranian General Soleimani, the terrorist leader. And when I woke up, I saw all the stories of the news. They were all in the news about the president's big New Year's party. And I drove to the airport live here on YouTube to show you guys, and Air Force One was gone. It wasn't there. And I couldn't believe it. And I've never heard anybody talk about this other than me. And I only know about it because I had this experience. So I went on my phone right at the airport and to look up what's going on here. Where's Air Force One? And then I drove over to Mar-a-Lago. There was a lot of security, and I did all this on a live stream here online on YouTube. And I don't know if that live stream is still up or if I took it down. It's been a long time, but I mean, this is the first New Year's after he took out the general, so this is like 6-7 years ago. And they obviously flew him out. There was a threat. There was a threat, and he left. They evacuated the president on Air Force One, and it was never reported or talked about. And the only reason that I know about it is because I went there and Air Force One was gone. And Air Force One, they can't have the president here without Air Force One. It's a security risk. They need to have Air Force One to get him out. So the Iranians have had hit squads after President Trump for years since he did that. So a lot of the MAGA, the reason I share this story, and we also had during the campaign, we didn't just have the Never Trumpers with the Ukrainian connections and deep state connections going after Trump, like the Never Trumper in Butler, the Ukrainian lover Never Trumper at the golf course, but there were Iranian hit squads after him as well. And that's why the security is so tight on him now. And all of these MAGA people that are arguing against Trump's decisions in with Iran, whatever his final decisions are, I think they're forgetting about a lot of this. No, this is all true. This is all true. And I want to talk about the differences between what Trump would do and what we saw in Iraq and Afghanistan, and this is important. This is very important to understand. You know, a lot of the I got an itch. Hold on. There we go. Okay, had an itch on my head. A lot of the opposition to regime change. By the way, the king of Iran, the Shah, the son of the last reigning Shah, released a statement today. He said the Islamic Republic's over. And I've been telling you guys for days that the Israeli plan was to put the Shah back in power. A lot of people that are opposed, by the way, if you're new to my channel, make sure that you subscribe. This is where MAGA comes to talk, guys. A lot of people who are MAGA that are opposed to what's going on, what Trump's doing with Iran right now, they point to Afghanistan, 20 years, many years of insurgency in Iraq, right? They said, oh, when we liberate Baghdad and there's regime change, they'll be throwing flowers in the street, and then we had an insurgency. Bush and Cheney are lying war criminals, and those wars were never meant to end quickly. They set those wars up in a way, just like they set up Vietnam, Johnson and Nixon and all of them, to be never-ending, to feed the military-industrial complex. President Trump doesn't roll that way, okay? President Trump, look at how he's trying to save the people of Tehran by telling them all to get out, right? So President Trump is going to if he authorizes U.S. military force to be used in Iran, it's going to be hardcore, the most powerful conventional bombs we have, and take it all out. He's not talking about some multi-year ground war. So the comparisons to Afghanistan and Iraq are not fair comparisons, and they're not really comparisons. You're comparing something totally different. War criminal Bush and Cheney setting a war up to last forever. So it's a big difference than what Trump, the way Trump would handle it. But MAGA people out there are acting like this is some unprovoked thing. They have been after Trump since 2018. They're never going to leave him or his family alone. And that's something people are forgetting. On top of the fact that we've been at a constant state of war with Iran since 1979 when they took our embassy, all right? Now, another thing is I'd been talking all week that I don't trust any of our intelligence or foreign intelligence about the nuclear weapon capability and development in Iran. I just don't. You know, these intelligence agencies lied about WMDs. They lied about the fake Trump PP dossier and all that crap. But however, I said all along that if Trump comes out and gives us information about it, I'll take that to the bank, because you can always trust in Trump. He never lies to us, and he would not tell us a lie. He wouldn't. So Trump released today that Iran is about a week away from having enough enriched uranium for a single nuclear device, and 3 weeks away from 10 nuclear devices. So are we supposed to let these madmen that have been behind all the Islamic terrorism, including the attack on the music festival in Israel, going to let them have 10 or 11 nuclear bombs? Is that crazy? Says who? Says the President of the United States. His name is Donald John Trump. All right? And when he says something, you can take it to the bank. All right? So now that is confirmation that Iran is a week away from a nuclear weapon, 3 weeks away from having 10. All right? And he gave them an opportunity, unconditional surrender or else. So right now, as I started this live stream, President Trump is in the Situation Room and making a decision. Yeah. It's not foreign affairs, it's American affairs. You know, they've been trying to kill President Trump, the Iranians. That's an act of war, man, against the United States. Don't you agree? Those of you in the chat that are MAGA, their constant assassination attempts on President Trump, is that not an act of war? Of course, is that not? If you have a foreign nation launching assassin squads against a president of the United States, isn't it America first to take them out? So no, this is America first. That's exactly right. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. My name is Brian Craig, and this is where MAGA comes to talk. It's not propaganda. Sadly, it's true. President Trump throughout his the proof is President Trump has given us all this information. That's the proof. That's all the proof we need, is the good word of President Trump. It's not about Israel. It's about them and our president. Spain, welcome. Welcome, everyone. I stand with Trump. I am with Trump for life. That's right. So, you know, to me, that is an act of war. They've been doing it multiple times, and we're going to do the right thing. And, you know, people forget. I was talking to a caller today. Someone called me on the morning show today from Thailand, and they said, when has regime change worked? So I gave him two quick examples, Germany and Japan. And he said, since World War II. when has regime change worked? I said Iraq, right? Iraq. And, a lot of you don't remember, but before the Gulf War One, okay, even when I was in high school, it was like every other week, the Iranians were harassing oil tankers in the Persian Gulf, doing something. They were like pirates, And then we had the Gulf War in 1991 when they took Kuwait. And then after we won the Gulf War, you were still hearing from Iraq all the freaking time. Iraq was always doing something, and we had regime change there. And now they're an ally of ours, and you don't hear any crap from them, right? So there are many examples of regime change that have worked. In fact, right now, here in the state of Florida, I'm in the United States. Those of you, I'm in Florida in the United States. And here in the United States, we had regime change. The United States was ruled by a king. And the founding fathers brought about regime change here in the Americas, and we had regime change from the king, became our own country. So regime change can work, and it has worked many, many times. Those are just a few examples, but it happens all the time. Yeah. So, no, regime change does work. And, these other wars, Iraq, Afghanistan, Vietnam, we didn't have Trump, okay? The rules of engagement, the way these wars were set up was for them to last for years and years and never be ending. President Trump wouldn't do that. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. He will bomb the living. We have conventional weapons, conventional bombs that are so big and powerful, they do as much destruction as nuclear weapons without the radiation. And those are the types of bombs that President Trump is going to be dropping on, well, I'm assuming Tehran, since he told everybody yesterday to get out of Tehran. So, I've been hearing about Iran now for, gee whiz, let's see here. How many years? Like 41 years. Even before that, because the revolution took a while. I mean, Iran has been a problem for 50 years. And they've been trying to assassinate our president. So now this is not about Israel, and it is very much America first. How's it not America first when they have assassin squads? How's that not America first? Well, I don't know about people saying it in the past, but I know I trust Trump. Trump has never lied to us, ever. He's never lied to us. Mm-mm. Nope. Nope. Again, make sure you subscribe if you are new to my channel. This is where MAGA comes to talk. That's right. This is the most pro-MAGA space you will find anywhere. No, Steve Bannon's not going to be president. No, we've never had a leader like this. President Trump is the best. And we'll never have another one like this either. He's as good as it will ever get. We're going to have other great presidents that are MAGA, but no one will be like Trump. This is at least his second time in the Situation Room today. Nope, he's never lied to us. When has Trump lied to the American people? In his 2 terms as president, when has he lied to us? He's never lied to us. It did saved billions and billions of dollars. The goal was $3 trillion. They didn't quite get there, but they say billions of dollars. They've not cut Medicaid. Gas prices are down. Oh, I would trust Trump above anyone. I would trust Trump with my life. Yeah, nope. President Trump has never lied to us. Nope. Never. Well, it looks like Iran's on the verge of collapse. I mean, they're not as strong. But now think about this. I want you guys to think about this because I'm hearing all these people say America first. You know, if Iran has hit squads that's trying to take out a president of the United States, which they are doing, okay, we know this for a fact that they have hit squads after the president. Is it not America first to take out these attempted assassins of our president? I would say yes. It is. It doesn't get more America first than that. That's as America first as it gets. You know, President Clinton, he was president like 2 weeks, and Saddam Hussein was attempting to assassinate Bush 1 in Kuwait, and President Clinton launched a huge attack on Iraq in response. I mean, look about that. That was after the Gulf War. They were trying to assassinate Iraq, tried to assassinate President Bush 1, Bush 41. You know, that's an act of war, and we've had regime change there, and they're not a problem anymore, Iraq. They're our ally. So regime change does work. Absolutely. October 7th was Iran. Absolutely. Hamas, Hezbollah, it's all Iran. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Iraq is a free country. They're a democracy, and they're an ally of the United States, which is pretty amazing when you think about our history. And when we have regime change in Iran, they're going to become our ally too. Who would have thought that Iran and Iraq would be American allies? It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. If you love Trump, press 1. If you love Trump, press 1. 1 if you love Trump. Yes, yes, yes. There's no other choices. No other choices. Yes. Look at all that Trump love. Lots of Trump love. Indeed. Absolutely. Well, Trump said unconditional surrender. Unconditional surrender. Sounds pretty good. You know, and he told everybody to get out. He doesn't want a bomb. He doesn't want a war. He's a man of peace. A man of peace. No doubt about it. He's very anti-war, President Trump. Don't you think things will be calmer in the Middle East when the Islamic Republic is no longer running Iran, right? Of course it will be. Oh, there's no Kool-Aid. These are just hard facts. I can't think of anything more American first than taking out presidential assassins. They are a threat to us. They have hit squads after our president. That is a threat, isn't it? How is it not a threat? There are Iranian hit squads that have made multiple attempts on President Trump. How is that not a threat to the United States? Oh, that's a fact. It's been widely reported by all the major news outlets, including the liberal ones. How is that not America first? Exactly. No, it's true. It's very, very true. It is a fact. Just because you don't know about it doesn't mean it's not true. Thank you for that super chat. Appreciate that. MAGA forever, MAGA for life. That's right. Trump 2028, Trump 2032, Trump 2036, Trump 2040, 44, 48, 52, 56, and beyond. Trump forever. I would be very happy with Donald Trump president for life, wouldn't you? And look at how hard he's working. You saw him in that press conference? Straight pepper diet. Another super chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. No, don't smoke anything. Yeah. The world's laughing at the USA. And I tell this to people often around the world. In the United States, we don't care what people in other countries think about our country or our leaders. We don't care. We don't care what other countries think about us. Why should we care what these other countries think about us? Now, explain this to me. How is it not American first? Think about this. I want somebody to make this case for me. Try to make this case. How is it, and if Michael Knowles and all these guys are listening, how is it not America first to take out assassins of a president? How is it not America first to do that? Of course it's America first. I wish it wasn't true, but it is true. Oh, they're done. I mean, I'm glad someone mentioned Putin. Russia just announced they have dropped all contact with Iran. And Russia has been a long-time ally of Iran, and that's over now. It's over. They lost their ally, Russia. It is true. It's in the news. Get up to date. Follow the news and then comment. Trump's doing a great job. Total perfection. Total perfection. Yeah, it was reported today. Putin announced it. Just happened like right before I did this stream. Yeah. You're just ignorant of what's going on in the world, that's all. Make sure you subscribe if you're new to my channel. This is where MAGA comes to talk. All right, guys, take care. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.